With me now to talk about this is Larry Sabato, the director for the Center of Politics at the University of Virginia, and Hadley Heath Manning, a senior policy analyst for the Independent Women's Forum. Welcome to both of you.
Thanks, Carol.
Thanks for being here. So, Larry, George W. Bush is expected to polish up his brother's foreign policy credentials, but even George W. expressed regret over failed intelligence. How will this play?
This is a Republican primary in a very conservative Republican state, South Carolina. So I don't think there will be many votes cast against Jeb Bush on the basis of George W. Bush having prosecuted the Iraq War. That's not the central focus, nor is there going to be any particular shift about George W. Bush. He's popular there. He's popular with Republicans, though I might add he is not popular yet with the general population. He eventually will be. All of our former presidents become golden oldies, and his time is coming, but it's not here yet. As far as the actual election, though, this signifies a real turnaround by the Jeb Bush campaign, because in the beginning he was Jeb, with the exclamation point substituting for his last name. And now he's fully embraced that dynastic name, which was the major problem with his candidacy to begin with.
So Hadley, with that in mind, as you heard Larry say, South Carolina is a military state. Fort Jackson is there. Many veterans retire in South Carolina. They like when candidates pay attention to them. As I said, George W. is a war president. Is that why he resonates in South Carolina?
That's certainly part of the reason. Former President Bush, also from Texas, a fellow Southerner. A lot of people see charm in his personality. He's an excellent retail politician, and so he's there to help his brother. But the bottom line for the Bush campaign, of course, is does an affinity or an appreciation or favorability towards the former president translate to votes for his brother? Of course, it's possible that some Republicans appreciate what former President Bush did for our country, and yet they'll vote for a different Republican, such as Marco Rubio or John Kasich, if they're in that group that really favors, as President George W. Bush says in that ad, someone with experience and judgment, because that's sort of a differentiating factor when it comes to the Trump-Cruz type of voter, and then the voters who want someone with experience and judgment.
Okay, so Larry, on the subject of Donald Trump, he'll be on the stump today, too, in South Carolina. During Saturday's debate, he blamed President Bush for 9/11, the Iraq War. He intimated that maybe George W. should have been impeached. Is all of this effective for him in South Carolina?
I think he let his anger at Jeb Bush and the Bush family overcome his better political judgment. I don't think he should have been as harsh. I think it was politically unwise for him to do what he did. And the critique sounded more Democratic, capital D Democratic, than it did Republican, and this is a Republican primary. On the other hand, as we've learned over and over and over and over and over and over again since last summer, these sorts of things don't appear to affect the 35% or so of the party that supports him. They view the Iraq War, and for that matter the Bushes, as history. And they're focusing on new concerns and their current anger about the subjects that Donald Trump has been stressing.
All right, I have to leave it there. Larry Sabato, Hadley Heath Manning, thanks to both of you.